All right. Welcome to week 2 of the Texas League Fantasy Football Podcast. You know how we do here. We like to start things off with a kickoff question from our man, Jared. So, Jared, what you got for us this week?
Might not necessarily be a complete fantasy question, but it does have fantasy impact. How many times are the Ravens going to allow people to come back and beat them or come back in games? Because I know every person that had Josh Allen facing them had to be like, "Can you please stop him? Please." like, like how many times is Harbaugh gonna let his team get come back? Is that Harbaugh? Is it the defensive coordinator? Like, because that off people, people want to blame Derrick Henry in that fumble, but they had a huge lead that they should have been able to keep, and they just let people come back all the time. It wasn't just Sunday.
So, I number one, I don't think that the lead was as big as people thought it was because it was 2 touchdowns, right? Like 2 touchdowns is a nice lead, but that's not an insurmountable lead when you
Hmm.
got a team like the Bills, right? So John Howard has blown 17 second half double digit leads. I saw that stat and I was like, that's crazy. Um, I don't know how many more he is going to blow, but I know if I'm the owner, he doesn't have any more to lose in the playoffs. Like if they don't make it to the Super Bowl this year, as crazy as it sounds, it may be time to move on from John Harbaugh. Like that's how detrimental his coaching in the second half of these football games has been over the last couple of years.
So what I think is they lose that fight in that last 5 to 7 minutes. They come out hard for 3.5 quarters, but they forget to finish the game. So all these big blowouts or all these points they keep giving up at the end to your point, it's like, yeah, Derrick Henry fumbled ball. Okay. However, you were still up by two scores at that point in time. So like
Yeah.
you should have been able to control the clock, finish out the game. But they let freaking Josh Allen look like Superman from Wyoming yet again. And all he did was he came to work. He said, I know we down. We gonna play 4 quarters and we gonna see what we can do. And that's exactly what the Bills did.
The Bills played to win the game. The Ravens played not to lose the game. And that is a very different mindset when it comes to any sport, especially the game of football. You know, I know analytics is the driver. I know that there are times when you have to be safe. When you have lost the momentum the way the Ravens did, you have to keep the ball in the hands of your two-time all-world, can do it all on the field, hands 2 yards. If you telling me that Lamar Jackson couldn't get you 2 yards with the ball in his hand, spread everybody out, give Lamar RPO, and let him get the 2 yards. There is no way that I would have given that ball back to the Bills, not without trying. Like there's times to be safe in a football game, and there's times to be aggressive. The Ravens missed a great opportunity to be aggressive in that moment and keep the ball out of Josh Allen's hands. Momentum is we know this is true. We've seen too many football games, especially the NFL, where the team has got the momentum and all they need is the ball. It is the legend that people like Joe Montana, Patrick Mahomes more of late, and a young JJ McCarthy on Monday night also established that momentum wins football games. And if you can do something to break that momentum, you do it. So if I'm the Ravens and I have just watched my defense give up all those second half points anyway, and I have to choose between the defense that is faltering and Lamar Jackson getting me 2 yards, I got to go with Lamar Jackson every single time in that situation. So yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah. So fantasy
Yeah.
wise, I know that everyone that had Josh Allen was very happy that they gave him ample opportunities to rack up those points at the end, especially rushing touchdowns being the difference between, 4 or 6 points in some leagues. Uh, and the other reason why I'm screaming for Lamar to keep the ball is because I'm trying to win the game. The Ravens kicker is missing field goals. He's not throwing to the tight end. I needed to score. I'm like, man, Lamar, keep the ball and do something with it, please. But anyway,
I was okay with him giving it to Derrick Henry. That didn't hurt me very much.
no, it did not. It helped you very much in your game, and we'll see that later. But since we're talking about fantasy from week one, we saw a lot of big time performances and a lot of disappointment. So let's go with Jared. Who was your biggest, in terms of good performance, who was your biggest fantasy surprise from week one?
I don't know if I really want to call this a surprise, but a lot of people thought Justin Fields' performance was a surprise. I
I was
thought
definitely surprised.
I've always felt that Justin Fields just needed an opportunity because a lot of times, because when he was in Chicago, he put up some. Him and DJ Moore was in Chicago putting up points and stats. So you send him to the Jets with his college teammate. I figured he could do something.
Indeed.
I didn't expect that performance.
Right? That's real. All right, Deuce, what about you? Who was your fantasy surprise for the week?
I gotta say the grandpa himself, Aaron Rodgers. I did not see 4 touchdowns coming out of that man on week one. But I know they were playing the Jets, which I thought I'm like, okay, maybe you're like, look, this is what I could have done the whole time if y'all actually gave me a line that could block. But I didn't see 4 touchdowns come out of that. I'm like 1 or 2, okay, I could see that. He's still got the skill for being an old man, NFL old man anyway. But 4, I'm like, damn, all right then. I'm like, all right, Aaron Rodgers, I see you trying to play football again.
Right?
But the question becomes, let's not forget that Fields was in Pittsburgh last year.
Yes, I know.
So were they trying to show out for the old teams and say you should have kept me?
Quite possibly. Now, do I think Aaron Rodgers is going to do that week in, week out? No,
No.
absolutely not. But who would you rather have, him or Russell Wilson? So,
Yeah, Russell Wilson might just be done.
yeah.
So before we get into the disappointing performances of the week, I'm gonna take a person that I just mentioned a moment ago, and I'm gonna say JJ McCarthy. He was injured all last season. And for 3 quarters of that football game on Monday, he did not look like a person that was worthy of a first round pick. 3 touchdown scoring drives in the fourth quarter, and Minnesota walks away with a 27-24 win, but putting up 3 touchdowns in the fourth quarter. So it makes you kind of see when they let Sam Darnold walk, I kind of figured that, I don't know, because McCarthy didn't have to do a whole bunch when he was at Michigan. He was a winner at Michigan, but he wasn't forced to do a lot. And on Monday night, he was forced to actually produce, and he showed out. So shout out to young JJ McCarthy. And so it looks like the Skull crew have them another QB up there to get the ball to Justin Jefferson. Because I mean, let's also be honest, that also makes your life a little bit easier when you have some good weapons around you.
It does. It really does.
And he does. And this thing, he doesn't even have his full arsenal yet because Addison's out for what, 3 more games?
Yeah.
So yeah, by the time Addison gets back, the offense might be humming along. They might want to try to do a little something up there in the NFC North. All right, so now let's look at the other side of things. Who would you say was your biggest fantasy disappointment from week one, Deuce?
You know, I hate to pick on a guy who has a lot of concussions, because he just, can't just, what was it? Can't get right sometimes. But down there in good old sunny Miami, got a quarterback who I must say has probably one of the lowest QBRs I've ever seen in a game. I don't think I've ever seen a 2.7 QBR. I really don't. I'm sure it's happened, but in my recollection, I can't think of a single time I've seen that. And so in my memory, I'm thinking like, man, Tua, back in the day, you was the man everyone looked up to in Alabama. It's like, man, bro, go back to college because you ain't really done much. But get hurt. So he's definitely by far my biggest disappointment. I expected better. I really did. Yeah, he threw for 114 and a touchdown and 2 picks. But I mean, those two
Oh, don't
picks and
forget the
that,
fumble. No,
Oh, you're right. You're right. And the
don't
fumble
forget the fumble.
come in, and he got a higher QBR than you do, and he went 5 for 8. I mean, come on.
I'm just saying, man. Jared, how about you? Who was your biggest fantasy disappointment from week one?
Uh, I'm just going to call out the entire Cincinnati Bengals offense. Like they're known to start slow, but usually they don't play in the preseason. I know I saw them play in the preseason, and they still came out and laid an egg. Every Jamar Chase owner is just was cursing at the TV all that. Like really, I think Jamar Chase hit it like 5 points. Really, bro, five?
I think it was like 3.7.
I might have overquoted when I said five.
If you are in a full PPR league, he got you 4.6. If you're in the half PPR league, he got you 3.6 because he had
Yeah.
two catches for 26 yards.
I knew that only because I played against him this week. So I'm like, I appreciate that.
Yeah, so if you're
Yeah,
if you're in a standard scoring league, he got you 2.6. So he didn't get you, no matter what type of scoring you did, he didn't get you over 5 points, which is
yeah,
a huge disappointment.
pretty much.
So yeah, you actually took. You called the whole Bengals offense. I was just gonna call out Jamar Chase, but since you already called him out, I'm gonna flip over to another team that scored a bunch of points, but had. I'm gonna call out the Eagles wide receiving core. Both of their starting wide receivers did nothing. I mean, they did absolutely nothing. So, fly Eagles fly, but can we get some passing? Can we get something going in the passing game, please, to your wide receivers? So,
I mean,
since we
Dotson had 59 yards. He almost broke 60. I mean, glass half
Yeah.
empty. No. All right. That's right.
Okay.
He averaged
so,
19.7 a catch. I mean, give the man a chance on 3 catches.
You know what?
no,
I'm gonna take the I'm gonna take the privilege of being the commissioner and throw in a second team just because I want to. Can we just throw in Detroit Lions while we because they looked horrible too. Just the whole offense. Just throw them in there too.
if we call them out entire offenses, yes. The Packers defense improved with Micah Parsons, but not that much. Like, good God. Like, Detroit looked like they forgot how to play football. I saw a meme from a Dan Campbell commercial where I think it maybe it was an Applebee's commercial, and they said that without his superstar coordinators, that's the job he's going to have next year is actually working at Applebee's because he can't coach.
Yeah, I was sad that Montgomery only had 25 yards. It's like, damn, I that's not a lot for a running back. I mean, I don't know how many carries he had. Let me look real quick. But 25 yards as a running back, he had 11 carries for 25 yards.
It was not good at all.
That's all.
Yeah, I'm with Mr. Cowan here. He's like, you know what? The whole Detroit
I'm
offense.
just throwing that whole offense just because I can.
Ford Motor's not that far down the road. You know what? Just put them all back on the assembly line and start over.
Yeah. All right. So let's get into a recap of week one.
Yeah, let's do that.
Ooh, you only want to do that. You know what? I'm not gonna do this with you. This is one of those rare moments where Dr. Deuce gets to really gloat because he actually had a really good week one. So you know what? Let's let him set it off. We're gonna start with Dr. Deuce this week. All right. So we did pick against him. I will say we don't often pick against him, but the week one matchups, we really didn't like them. We really didn't like him, Jared and I, but he was able to emerge victorious. And actually, he's one of the few teams this week that actually beat his original projection. You're going to see a lot of low scoring games, as we already alluded to, a lot of underperforming from the fantasy players this week. But it's all on the shoulders of one man, Derrick Henry. I mean, Buffalo didn't do anything with Derrick Henry. 2 long touchdown runs. I mean, it sucks that he had his night marred by that fumble that ended up scoring the touchdown that led to the turnover on downs, etc. But I mean, it does not diminish the fact that the man ran for 170 yards and 2 touchdowns. And this is also a reminder that the Titans, one of you do me a favor real quick. Look up and see how many rushing yards the Titans had as a team on Sunday.
I'm gonna make an educated guess and say 60 because Tony Pollard's on the other team. Oh, you know what? They got Cam Ward. He might have ran for a couple. Let me look into that.
Looking now.
But
But
I'm gonna tell you,
I can tell you what it wasn't. It wasn't more than 170.
71 yards. 71 rushing yards.
So yeah, I know that it was a mutual parting of the ways between Derrick Henry and the Titans, but they had to be the dumbest bleeps in captivity to let that man walk away. There's no way you should have let Derrick Henry get away. So
the question is who's dumber, them or the Giants for letting Saquon go?
Ooh,
still the Giants. Like
yeah.
Okay, second.
Still the Giants. Like the Titans, Derrick Henry, he left the Titans after what, 8 years in the league in his year 8 or year 9. So that's one thing, right? Because he was approaching his third year. Saquon left when he was 23 or 20, he was 24 years old. There's no way you let your 24-year-old running back leave. I don't care what injury he had in his first contract. There's no way. But shout out to Dr. Deuce. All right. Muff Divers versus Kirkwood. So Muff Divers actually exceeded let's see, who picked Muff Divers to win? Did you pick them to win? Let's see who picked them to win. But Jared, break it down for us.
The same way that our co-host team was led by Derrick Henry, his team was led by Lamar Jackson. 32 points is well on your way to a win. The Miami Dolphins didn't do a whole lot, but the running back came up with 15. That's a nice little. Garrett Wilson took advantage of his college teammate Justin Fields producing. He came in with 19. In that same game, Chris Boswell kicking field goals. Four extra points, 12. 2 of them over 50. Yep, well, they'll do it for you.
Yeah, they showed out, man.
His team just all together. Just, they all did their piece. But that 32 from Lamar really helps.
Indeed, it does.
Hurt.
No. Jalen Hurts taking all the rushing touchdowns away from his teammates. So screw him.
I thought Saquon got one, but he got, he took
did.
a couple.
But Jalen got 2.
He could have threw one of those. That goes to them wide receivers. That's why they didn't do nothing.
Yeah, we can't blame the Eagles for easy rushing touchdowns because the Cowboys could not get to the quarterback or get any pressure in the backfield. So we can't blame them. So shout out to Muff Divers with their 123 points this week. They are also our weekly high score winner, and so they sit in first place in the league by virtue of scoring the most points in week 1.
You both picked Muff Divers, by the way. I didn't, so just as an FYI.
Hey, we got one right.
That might be the only one I got right.
That is the only one, but anyway.
that I was going to say. All right, Big Green versus Bench Burrow and Deal. All right, so Dr. Deuce, since you picked this one correctly.
Oh, no, actually, we all got this one wrong.
Oh, we all got this one wrong. I thought this was one of the ones you picked right. I will say this. She loves making us look bad. I think this is probably the 3rd or 4th time we've all picked against her, and she manages to squeeze out a victory just to make us look bad. Right.
0, yep.
And that's the part that's got to really be frustrating for Bench Burrow and Deal. I mean, Caleb did nothing.
No, it's that 10 points from Joe Burrow. Your team is named Bench Burrow and Deal, and Burrow got you 10 points. That's what's frustrating.
I just want to look at the bench. Oh, he had Aaron Rodgers on the bench. Oh, And the fact that we happen to know that he is a Packers fan in real life has to sting just a little bit that vintage Aaron Rodgers came out and he wasn't able to take advantage of it. So shout out to
fairness, if I was probably would do with Burrow as well. Burrow usually does well against Lynn, just not in the first week. But he usually does well.
This is true. But shout out to Big Green. So husband and wife duo both got the victories this week. You know what I noticed this week too, as I was looking at this? All of the right hand side teams won this week. Now that was crazy.
All the home teams won.
All of the right hand side teams won this week. All right.
Mm.
So two boobs, two balls versus Super Mario Crystal Ballin, our reigning champion. Now, Jared, I thought we picked this one right. I don't know how we
I
got this one
did.
wrong.
Y'all got it wrong.
I can't believe we picked against Cuzzo, but he also enjoys us being able to rub our face in it. But I will say this: Josh Allen almost made us winners. So now he has a beef with AJ Brown's anemic two catches for a total of 1.3 points. I'm sorry, one catch for 8 yards for a beautiful 1.3 points. So he definitely has a beef there because there is where he lost the game.
Hmm.
That's pretty much where he lost the game. Like Bajan had a great game as expected. Cortland and Bo Nix are becoming a good duo together. Ladd with a respectable double digit. Nobody really knows who wants to run the ball in Seattle. So, I mean, Super Mario had just enough to eke out the victory. But you know what? You only need point oh 0.01 to get the victory. So,
Yeah,
hey,
we've
it
learned
doesn't
that.
matter. It doesn't matter how much you win by that you got the W versus you didn't get the W. Uh, Now we'll take it to I'll I'll take it on the chin next. Pause. Uh, so
Oh, I called this one right too. Interesting.
yes, you did. Now I'm looking at single digits all up and down and the sad part about me is I could have won this game. Put any of
Yeah.
these people in instead of the people that actually played, and I win the game. But going into Monday night, I still somehow had a chance to win because I had Mark, and I thought I could since I
Mm,
had both Mark Andrews and Tyler Loop. Tyler
mm.
Loop ends up missing a free. Did he miss an extra point or a field? He missed a field goal.
Still going for you.
Yeah, which also cost them the game, and ultimately, so that would have been 3 more points for me. And then I don't know any other passes to Mark Andrews could have helped. So I mean, I lost a heartbreaker. Dak Prescott and George Pickens not finding the connection yet. I do think that that's going to develop into connection, but and this is actually what gave me hope on Friday, even though this happened on Thursday. This gave me hope on Friday night is Xavier Worthy getting hurt early in the game. But alas, it was not to be. So shout out to Hayward Hernandez with the victory. So Jared, talk about your game.
Uh, simply put, I went against my gut. I pulled a senior spreadsheet, aka Robert Caldwell, and said, I'm gonna check the stats for last year. Let me see what Justin Herbert did against the Chiefs. Both performances were no, not great. I'm like, it's the first game of the season they playing in Brazil. No, I'm gonna go with Drake May this week. And if I had gone with Justin Herbert, I would have won this matchup. But as they say, you can't cry over spilled milk because Company Man, his team didn't perform real
You
great either.
both picked the wrong quarterback this week
We
for your
did.
team.
We did. We both picked the
Yeah, he
wrong
could use
quarterback.
either of his backup quarterbacks and still had more than both teams.
This is true. Yeah, I forgot he had Penix sitting down there. Good grief.
Yeah.
We don't usually see the three quarterback roster in our league, but Company Man happens to
Yeah.
happens to be one. So all that being said, we now have 6 teams with the victory, 6 teams with a loss in our league. So where does that put us as a squad? It puts Dr. Deuce currently in the lead.
Where
He
he
got
belongs.
3 out of 6 correct. Jared and I both got one right last
Mm,
week.
mm,
So,
mm.
but hey, it happens to the best of us. But we will go now into our week 2 picks. So, this is what we're calling rivalry week. I hate saying that word. So we will start with Ed Corn versus Hanging with Hernandez. Dr. Deuce, you being the clubhouse leader, who you got for this game?
All right. So for this game, I was looking at who's playing who. Now, quarterback matchup for team versus team, I'm going to say it's pretty even. Kyler Murray's going to do good against Carolina. Gino's going to do fairly well against the Chargers. Excuse me. Receiver to receiver, I'm leaning towards Acorn on that only because of what Tampa Bay's freaking. I thought he was a tight end to be honest with you, but wide receiver did last weekend. So I think where the crutch, if you will, that's going to come to play is that flex position. You got Jamar Chase and Jalen Warren. Whoever wins that wins the game. And since Cincinnati doesn't know what the hell they're doing right now, however they're playing Jacksonville, I'm going with Acorn because I'm going to give the edge to Jamar Chase is going to actually ball out today or next week. I'm just happy he didn't do it against me. So Jamar Chase is going to ball out this next week, and I think Acorn going to actually put together a roster without leaving so many points on the bench.
All right. Jared, how about you?
I think I'm gonna follow his suit. Now I kind of had the same idea, kind of, and except I had the same principles, same idea that Acorn wins. I just think that I don't see Nico Collins doing a whole lot. That Texans offensive line is horrible. To pass the ball, you must be able to block. They just lost their center in that game against the Rams. We, and I say we as the Bucks, have a 350-pound nose guard. Who is it? And he gets to go against a backup center? I don't like CJ Stroud's chances.
I would think that Ed Corn also does it, which is why he's got Stroud sitting on his bench this week. Yeah. So you need an offensive line to do anything. That Texans offense looked absolutely anemic last week. Like you wouldn't expect a team like the Rams to put up. What did they put up? 10 or 12 or whatever that low scoring game was. Like it wasn't enough. The Texans had a chance to win that game. They could not move the ball at all last week. So
I don't know who the second cornerback is in Houston, because whoever the starter is, I know he's probably gonna have Mike Evans. Who's the second cornerback? I can't think of who their second cornerback is, and that's who Mr. Ibuka's probably gonna line up against. And it's like, who's that?
Yeah,
I don't know.
So we have a unanimous pick in this particular game because I'm also going with Ed Corn. I think his matchups look better, and we got that there. All right, Company Man versus Kirkwood. Jared, does Kirkwood get his first W, or does he start off 0-2?
You know what? I hate to say this, but I think he's gonna go 0-2. Because I believe that Bo Nix, who's Indianapolis looked good last week. They were playing Miami. I don't think that defense is as good as they appear. And I believe Bo Nix stops trying to force the ball to Cortland Sutton on every play, and he running a little bit. And I think they bounce back. I believe that Detroit, who's playing Chicago, they're gonna work real hard this week to show Ben Johnson that you gone, but we can still make it. We can still make it do what it do. James Conner is going against Carolina. Carolina sucks. They made Travis Etienne look good. He ain't look good at all last season. So yeah,
they made Travis Etienne look so good they traded his backup away.
Exactly. Oh, let's not forget Marvin Harrison Jr. gets to play against Carolina. Do we just like the matchups just say, the matchups say we good. Now I'll say this: Kirkwood has some people that a couple years, like I made this joke during the draft in 2017. I had McCaffrey and Kamara, and they helped me win a championship. I don't think they can do that in 2025. Kamara, they playing against each other, and I don't see a lot of McCaffrey get his output, but I don't see Kamara doing a whole lot because Spencer Rattler. No, I don't trust it. We don't trust him. I don't trust in Spencer Rattler. I don't even know if Drake London playing. He might still be hurt. I thought he hurt his shoulder at the end of that game.
He practiced today, but it was limited. So let's see who his options are if London's not able to go. Not a lot of great options. Quentin Johnston is a good option for Monday night. So if
Yeah,
London doesn't go, he does have a viable. Johnson had a pretty good week last week, if I'm not
Yeah, you
mistaken.
did.
he did.
Yeah, putting up 2 touchdowns in Brazil.
I
So
I saw I saw a joke talking about uh Quentin Johnson switch places with CD Lamb. I'm like, well, CD still has 7 catches despite all the drops.
right. But
So
all right. All right, dudes, what about you?
You know, I'm going with Kirkwood. I think he will get his first win. If for no other reason, that Super Bowl rematch is going to be fun to watch. And I am not sold on Spencer Rattler. I haven't been since he was in high school here in Arizona. I wasn't when he was in college, but I think he's going to give the ball to Alvin Kamara to actually do something. And Christian McCaffrey's going to get his points. Laporta's going to do his thing. I think Kirkwood wins, and I don't think it will be close.
Mm. So I also think Kirkwood's going to win. One thing that I saw last week in the Kansas City game, they do not have the pass rush and I actually said this on Twitter to somebody earlier today. They don't have the pass rush that we've been used to seeing them have in the last few years. That first got exposed in the Super Bowl last year because Jalen Hurts was able to, and that offense were able to do whatever they wanted to do. And last week, we saw that the Chargers were also able to do whatever they wanted to do on offense. So, unless Kansas City starts injecting them with horse tranquilizers or speed or something else to get them off the ball to actually disrupt the flow of the offense, they're not going to be able to stop that offense in Philly. So, I mean, I really expect Hurts to be able to, you can pick your poison through the land or the air. He's going to get his points. And I think that that's going to be the edge for Kirkwood this week. All right. Moving on. Benchboro and Deal versus Muff Divers. All right. So I'll take first crack on this one, and I'm going to keep it very simple. I'm going to go with Muff Divers. Lamar Jackson lost a heartbreaker last week. He's going into a game against Cleveland, who, for lack of a better term, sucks. And he's going to really badly hurt a team this week. And yeah, CeeDee Lamb in a divisional game against the Giants at home is going to want to avenge last week's drops. Yeah, so I'm going to go with Muff Divers for those 2 reasons. Do who you like.
Muff Divers, you said it eloquently, so I'm good.
All right, Jared.
I will have to agree. Like you said eloquently. You just stick with it. Lamar Jackson, CD Lamb.
All
Just
right. All right. So, 2 boobs, 2 balls, 1 goal versus the Big Green. One team lost a heartbreaker last week. The other one eked out a unlikely victory from our eyes. So now, Deuce, who do you like in this game?
John, what more do I need to pay?
Fair enough. Now, seeing as Brock Purdy is on the questionable side to play this week, yeah, he's on the questionable side to play this week, and her option is Tua. Uh,
You better off leaving me.
she got Cam Ward.
Oh, you're right. You're right.
let's see here. Cam,
Didn't say it was a great option, but she got another one.
yeah. Um, going up against the Rams defense, Sean McVay and that against a rookie QB who doesn't have a lot of weapons. Again, we could be Tua historically has been better than he was. I mean, he couldn't be much worse than he was last week. So I do expect a bounce back game, but bounce back enough to overcome whatever Josh Allen's going to do to the Jets. Yeah,
Back stretch for me.
yeah, not going to happen. So yeah, I believe we have a consensus again on this one. So 2 boos, 2 balls, 1 goal gets their first win of the season. All right. So Deuce, we'll let you pick this one since it involves two family members, including our
Oh,
co-host facing off this week.
see, this was one for me to be perfectly honest with. I was looking, well, like, okay, like match. I like Herbert versus the team of Nevada. Um, I like that match. I like Amon St. Brown against Chicago. I like everything that he got on that side. Well, maybe not everything. I don't know about Higgins, but then I look at Puzzle side. I'm like, dang, he got wide receivers. He got a solid quarterback. I don't know what the hell Kenneth Walker's still doing there, but you got Bijan Robinson. Like, damn, who do who got on the bench? Because it's like Montgomery wasn't able to do anything last week, unfortunately. Who either of them are on the bench? Can you scroll down? See potential. I'm giving away no potential. Nice potential. Scroll back up, back up. I mean, I know who I initially had written down. I'm going to keep it. I'm going to say Cuzzo going to take. Sorry, Cal. I'm going to say Cuzzo going to take you, man. You're going to be on too, man.
All right. So this is I say this is a tough one, and this is the thing that it comes down to for me is the Thursday night game. Um, Thursday night games are usually not very good games. Like we don't usually see a lot of good scoring in those particular games. Packers defense looked really good last week. Teams have a whole year's worth of film on Jaden Daniels now. So even though this was a decent stat line, this is not what we were used to seeing last year, right? Like Daniels was putting up 2, 3 touchdowns a year last year, 250 to 300 yards a game when he was still a surprise. But now teams are kind of getting used to him. So, man, I hate to pick against you as well, my co-host, but I'm also going to have to go with Cuzzo on this one. Um, yeah, I think that I don't think it's gonna be a very close game. So even the projection says it's gonna be a close game. I do think it's gonna be a close game. And if it goes your way, I won't be surprised at all. But based on the matchups I see, I think your cousin got a little bit of an edge. So
Well,
just to
another thing
make
that
it
has me worried
official,
about your team, Cowan, is your kicker.
Young Ho.
Yeah,
Yeah, Cool missed a big kick last week. I'm actually surprised that they
Well,
did not make a move because from what I understand from my friends who are actually Falcons fans, they have a pretty good kicker on their practice squad, who's also an international talent who is supposed to be pretty good. So uh Cool, I guess this is Cool's week to show and prove that he gets to keep his job.
pretty much.
All right. But again, just to make it official, are you picking against yourself this week?
No, I refuse to pick against myself this early in the season. Now, I have picked against myself before, but I'm not going to do it
and
in
you were
week
right.
2.
Like you won.
All right. So now we have the last place Devastator versus the fourth place Mathis King in week 2. This is one of the 2 weeks per year where Dr. Deuce and I are actual favorite teams, which you should know what they are by now by our background and attire. So neither one of us ever picks the other one in these games. I don't care if I actually do think my team's gonna lose. I'm never gonna pick against myself in this game. So Jared, it is all up to you to break the tie, good sir.
You know what? I am this one is going to this one of those games I think is gonna go down to the wire. Whoever got the last player playing might squeak this one out.
Oh, so me, because I got a Monday night player.
Well, is that
I got Mike Evans
he got a Monday night
Well,
defense.
you and I both have that the
against
same
my
that
Monday
same
night
player.
player.
Yes, we're playing against each other.
On your team.
My defense is
Just
facing
saying.
off against your receiver.
Yeah, yeah. You know what, gentlemen? This was going to be close, but I'm giving the nod to Devastator, and this is why. we just talked about earlier, Jalen Hurts is going to just go off land and by land and by air. Devonta Smith should get some points this week. I believe that CD Lamb and Dak Prescott get it together and take advantage of a hot garbage Giant team and get some points. And the Pickens, anyone who plays for Dallas should score this week.
That's
Like
my hope.
I believe that the Super Bowl rematch is going to be a high scoring afternoon game.
Mm-hmm.
I do agree with you on that one. I do.
Shootout.
Yeah.
I will say that the Mahomes Kelsey stack has me worried, because these are the games where the two of them find it'll be some kind of crazy ass center bubble shovel pass screen to Kelsey that gets him a late touchdown, and it'll be the touchdown that kills me in this game. But yeah. So all right.
I like the Derrick Henry versus Cleveland matchup. That's just me.
Derrick Henry should be sitting by the second half against Cleveland.
No, because he had something to prove after that fumble.
Yeah, so let him get his touchdown early, and then let his backup get it in, get some run. So they should be up about 35-6 by the second half, and all the backup should be in for Baltimore.
Shoot. Over 244 touchdowns. I'm cool.
Look here, I might even put in my backup tight end. That's how much I don't expect Mark Andrews to. But then again, I'm hoping Andrews scores early as well, so he can also get some rest against Cleveland. But
yeah.
All right, so those are our picks for the week. So as we like to say, which games are you looking forward to this weekend outside of the Raiders, Chargers, of course? What games you looking forward to this weekend?
Oh, there's the Super Bowl rematch.
Yeah.
There's the Ben Johnson.
It's always a good game.
Yeah, Chicago at Detroit. That should be a good one.
Yeah, I'm gonna call that the Ben Johnson Bowl. Okay, let's call it. I think those are games to watch. Tomorrow night's game should be pretty good. Washington and Green Bay. I think that'll be pretty good.
Yeah. How about you, Dr. Deuce?
This is outlandish, but what I want to see Atlanta, Minnesota with its Phoenix start, like Kirk Cousins play against Minnesota. You got
Let Kirk Cousins start against Minnesota. Okay.
Saying,
it ain't gonna happen.
I don't think it'll happen either.
It ain't gonna happen, and we
Penix,
definitely don't want
Penix played a pretty good game last week, so I don't know.
He did a great job. You're wrong. He got one play with a down, but he played good. He's gonna reach out for anything else, but they said it. I don't care. He ain't on my spot, but
all right. Well, yeah, I think that's also going to be a good one. Kirk would definitely feel better if he was still the starter, especially since it's in Minnesota. But I expect Kirk to get some love shown to him when he gets there in Minnesota. What I'm looking forward to, outside of the ones you've already mentioned, is I'm actually looking forward to the Denver at Indianapolis game. So Denver trying to make a resurgence in year 2 of the Bo Nix era. Daniel Jones looking like I don't know who he looks like. Like that is the Daniel Jones. The Daniel Jones we saw last week is the one that Peyton and Eli thought that when they recommended the Giants pick him, that's the Daniel Jones that they thought the Giants were getting. So it actually still makes the Giants look even worse, because if Daniel Jones can come out there in week 1 with that just with an offensive line, then yeah, it would just be poetic justice for Daniel Jones to at least lead the Colts to the playoffs this year. Like if he leads the Colts to even if they either make the playoffs, or let's just say they were like one game out of the playoffs this year, Daniel Jones should feel fully vindicated, because it just continues to prove how inept the Giants organization is at this point. But all right, week 2 starts tomorrow. Check those waiver wires, check those injury reports. Please make sure you set your lineups. Remember that if you have lineup questions, we are here to help. We do not do betting advice, at least not on air. So if you have our phone numbers, you can text us, but we don't need nobody trying to knock down our door saying that they bet how we wanted them to bet and it all fell down. But as always, good luck to your team, unless your team is facing mine in fantasy or real life. So that's 2 thumbs down to you this week, Dr. Deuce. and
I
it's
understand.
and
But you know
until
what?
next.
If someone asks me which one would I rather have, the fantasy win or the real win, I'm gonna
Oh,
say both.
real,
So,
real. Oh, real.
0-2,
Listen,
I don't want to hear nothing but see no emblem
listen.
change. That's all I. You know what? Hey, new thing for next week. Whoever wins, the other Joker has to have day emblem on their thing. Just for
That
that
was
week
not a
start.
part of the
I'm just throwing it
deal,
out
and
there
I
now.
am not agreeing to that.
Now, just throwing it out there now for live. Come on,
And
baby.
I'm
Mr. Tower,
saying
what you
no.
think?
And I'm saying no.
I'll say I'm just gonna ask this question. With the bet that you have just proposed, does that replace the normal Twitter bet?
No, the Twitter bet remains.
No, that one has to stay because it
Oh,
adds
this
to it.
this is an additional bet.
Yes,
Yeah,
the
we
Twitter
can't take
bet
away, but
remains.
we always got to.
So we'll see. We'll maybe do that for later this season when the stakes are a little bit higher. We'll see for our rematch.
Stakes are high now, baby. 2-0, 0-2. Stakes are high right now. What you got?
Oh, I ain't no pump. So let's do it. Let's do it.
All right, cool.
I can't wait to put your Twitter profile in my background with you and your profile having the Raiders up on it. So, okay, so let's clarify the bet. Whichever real team wins, that's the Twitter bet. The fantasy bet is whichever one of our fantasy team wins has to put the other person's logo in the background
Yes.
during next week's film. Okay, just
Yes.
wanted to clarify.
All right.
All right.
That boat gonna look good behind you, brother. You can still wear your gaudy Raider shirt. I mean, I ain't gonna do you like that.
I am
But
going to wear a Raiders flag next week so that it looks good against your Raiders background after I beat you in our fantasy
I
matchup,
respect
sir.
that. I respect that.
All right, friends. Y'all have
This
a great week. And until next time, good luck. Peace.